As key decisions to their star players, the Lakers have already agreed to a 4-year, $185 million extension with guard Austin Reaves, but LeBron James remains without a deal. Our Kendrick Perkins felt strongly about the roster decisions the Lakers are making this offseason. Take a listen.
Luka and Austin Reaves are y'all franchise players. We're talking about a historic franchise that it ain't no in-between when it comes to their fan base. It's either championships or busts. Two guys that are both defensive liabilities.
100%.
Man, listen. Man, look, it ain't a person in the world. It ain't a team in the world. It ain't a player in the world that's afraid of Luka and Austin Reaves.
Not
Matter of
one.
fact, when the playoffs come around next season, they gonna be looking to get to the seeding where they actually could look at them.
Wow, not a team war player in the world that's afraid of Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves. Some strong words right there by Perk. Vinny, what's your reaction?
Well, he's not wrong when he talks about them being defensive liabilities, which means you have to build a team very specifically around your two best players. When you look at Dallas and the way they built their team around Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, length on the wings, athletic bigs, they got to the NBA Finals. So it's not impossible. But when you're talking about bringing LeBron James back, and if we're spinning it into that way, LeBron James at this stage of his career, can you ask him to be a defensive stopper when he's going to be 42 years old on December 30th? I think that's asking a lot of him. Then that places your three best players as defensive liabilities. The Lakers are in this tough spot because ever since LeBron James got there, everything was catered to his whims. We got Anthony Davis, we got Russell Westbrook. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Then Luka Doncic falls in your lap and your trajectory completely changes, and a funny thing happened. LeBron James did not decline the way that people expected him to decline, and now he is just as much a priority free agent-wise as any other player in the league, and the Lakers' timeline doesn't line up with LeBron's timeline. That's what makes this thing completely tricky, and it doesn't mean it's anybody's fault if LeBron goes elsewhere or the Lakers decide we have to move forward with our franchise player the way that we have to move forward.
Wendy, what say you?
Yeah, I think very clear the Lakers have to improve with their interior defense. I mean, maybe people would dispute whether they are defensive liabilities. I mean, last year, J.J. Redick, as the season went along, found some ways to help the Lakers defense. You know, they started mixing in zone, and there was, situations where they were able to play, stretches of good defense. Like, you can win with Luka and Austin Reaves as your offensive juggernauts who, have targets on their back in the playoffs. But in the playoffs, you go to matchup basketball, and it's a lot harder to play zone at that level at the playoffs. It's more of a curveball than it is your bread and butter. So I think it's absolutely reasonable and rational and sort of baseline understanding of basketball that if you're going to have two guys out there like that you need backline help, which is why 5 minutes after the Lakers traded for Luka Doncic, they traded for Mark Williams. That just gets forgotten. They knew the day they traded for Luka that they needed backline help. Last year, their major free agent move, I realize it wasn't an enormous splash. They didn't have a lot of money to spend, but their major free agent move was going and getting DeAndre Ayton. That didn't work out great. They still won over 50 games and got to the second round. It wasn't a disaster. But yes, they have to upgrade there. They've known that for a long time, and they're going to work on it over the next they have been working on it. And they're going to work on it over the next couple of days and probably well into the season, into the trade deadline.
There's one little small part of Perk's thing that I disagree with. For everything, for the most part, he was right on about the defensive liability and the fact that if the season started now, I would have the Lakers as a first round out if that right now, given all the variables there with the roster and everything. The one little change I would make there, the idea that you would seek out Luka Doncic in a playoff series. Every year that Luka Doncic has been in the playoffs, except for a couple years ago when they played Minnesota, he's outperformed his playoff expectations. Go back to the bubble and that game-winning shot against the Clippers, and they did not. Nobody gave him a chance there, and they had a fight with them, right? And you look at going to the finals. Nobody expected him to go to the finals. Luka Doncic is a playoff competitor. He outperforms. So if there is a risk to say, hey, I want to play Luka in the first round. He is going to either beat you or he's going to give you a heart attack along the way because he is just that good. So I would not seek them out in any series, even though pretty much any of those top 4 teams in the West, however they shake out, I would take them over the Lakers.
Vinny, how concerned are you about the Lakers as currently constructed right now?
You have to be concerned because you don't know what their plan is. And like Wendy said, you're laying out, they know exactly what they need, right? They know they need help on the wings. You got to figure out the Rui Hachimura situation because he is very valuable from a three-point standpoint because he's a wing athlete. Can you figure out a number that makes sense for him? Can you find the big? Remember, they were in the Walker Kessler sweepstakes, but Utah decided not to move him. They know exactly what they need, but it doesn't mean you're going to find it. It doesn't mean that it's out there. It doesn't mean that you have the resources to acquire it, in large part because you also don't know where you sit with LeBron James. You can always, teams are not stupid. These teams are pretty smart. JJ Redick is a very good head coach. They have you identify your needs. It's just, will someone deal with you? And if you have a franchise talent like Luka Doncic, you're not going to say, no, we're not going to trade you Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic. You're going to take him and you're going to figure out the rest on the back end. They did a great job of developing Austin Reaves. They were gifted Luka, and now it's their job to find out these corresponding pieces. It's not impossible, but can they get them?
Wendy, what's the concern level that you have with the way the Lakers are constructed right now?
Well, I can't judge them on June 29th, Amina. I just can't. Let me see where they are on July 15th, August 1st. They're not desperate. They won 52 games last year. They have Luka Doncic. He's in his prime. They play in Los Angeles. They have $50 million in cap space. They have 3 tradable first-round picks. Yeah, they're going to have to do some work. They're not desperate. Who knows what would have happened last year if Luka was healthy? Coming down the stretch of the season, they looked like one of the most dangerous teams in the West. They were not the Thunder or the Spurs, but they were right there with them. And if the right things had fallen, maybe they could have gotten to the Western Conference Finals. They ended up losing their mojo when Luka got hurt. But the Lakers are not desperate at all. They have a lot going for them. Don't forget that.
Yeah, the Lakers down the stretch of the regular season, they finished 28-8 since the All-Star break, also 5th in defensive rating. So they were able to turn things around as they got closer to the playoffs. All right, coming up.
Finish last year would imply that, but I cannot say that for sure. The Lakers have been, in trying to meet with LeBron, I assume to give him a contract offer, but LeBron, from what I have been told, has been unavailable to meet with them. They can still sign him at any time here, but LeBron has not prioritized that. He's been prioritizing golf. He played Firestone Country Club in Akron yesterday, and from what I hear, gave a great tip to the caddy.
Bobby Marks, now that we've got everything figured out with LeBron's golf game, let's try to figure out a little bit more of his future. It's unfair for me to ask you to put a percentage chance on it, but the idea of LeBron not only leaving LA, but ending up with the Warriors, could we actually see something like this happen?
I think it should be in the discussion here. I mean, I think everything should be on the table here. I think, today will play a big role. That's when Draymond Green has a $27.7 million player option. Also, the Bronny James contract becomes guaranteed in Los Angeles. Also, where the Golden State Warriors are right now, if Draymond opted in, they have not as much flexibility to offer LeBron a $15 million contract. Now, if he opted out and signed for a little bit less, that certainly opens up the window here. And now you're asking, how does the LeBron-Stephen Curry tandem match up to San Antonio and Oklahoma City? We're not quite there yet. There's got to be another move out there. And I know they're hesitant to move off Jimmy Butler, but I think if you get LeBron James in the fold, I think you have to look at all your options. This is a Golden State team that can trade 3 first-round picks and use that $57 million expiring contract to go try and get another All-Star out there.
Let me ask you a follow-up. If you thought about it and you had some opportunity, who could be one of those All-Stars that the Warriors can make the deal for, sending Butler out, bringing this guy back to further entice LeBron to Golden State?
Well, the Wizards' president of basketball operations, Michael Winger, has talked glowingly about Anthony Davis and as far as him part of the future moving forward. Davis is extension eligible on August 6th. But if I'm Mike Dunleavy Jr. in that Warrior front office, I'm putting a phone call in to see if Davis is available in trade discussions.
So the domino effect here, Vince Goodwill. We're watching Draymond Green today. Does he opt out and end up taking less money? That would be step 1. Step 2, LeBron decides he's going to take less money and join the Warriors. Step 3, a potential trade of Jimmy Butler to Washington to try to bring in Anthony Davis. It's a lot. How does it sit with you?
It's a lot. It sounds like fantasy basketball. For one, Golden State has let it be known to Jimmy Butler, hey, we want you to finish your career here. Also important to remember, Jimmy Butler, since becoming a